Shine with Kendell Lenice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.
Welcome to Shine with Kendell Lenice. I am your host, Kendell Lenice. Allow me to introduce myself to you just a little bit further. I am a certified transformational life coach, speaker, and author, as well as a certified meditation practitioner and content creator. I'm so glad that you decided to join me on my life podcast. On this podcast, I will educate, elevate, and entertain you with various topics. We will do live coaching, and I will hopefully give you a different perspective on some of your favorite topics and introduce you to new ones. I'm not sure how you stumbled upon this podcast. I'm just so glad you did. Before we get started, do me a favor and subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening and rate if you are able to. Thank you so much once again for tuning in, and now on to this week's show. Today's show is sponsored by 617 Lip Love, Organic Lip Moisturizer Balm by Kendell Lenice. Get yours today at leniceboutique.com. This product is for men and women, and its signature flavor, eucalyptus mint. It's the bomb, y'all. Get it today at leniceboutique.com. Protect your lips, heal your lips at all costs. 617 Lip Love Organic Lip Moisturizer Balm. Get yours today at leniceboutique.com. Support Black businesses, support women-owned businesses. leniceboutique.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shine with Kendell Lenice. I am your host, Kendell Lenice. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Shine with Kendell Lenice. All right, so I'm back at it on YouTube, going live. It's visual. Hi, YouTube. So if you are listening to the podcast where all podcasts are played, thank you so much. It's Kendell Lenice, and this is my podcast, Shine with me. I've been doing this podcast for quite a long time, so thank you everyone who continues to support it. Every single week, anytime I'm up with a new episode, you are right there with me. And to all my new listeners, if this is your first time tuning in to Shine with Kendell Lenice, I'm not sure. Wait, what's going on? Let me make sure. Okay, just making sure I'm good. I hope you can hear me. I see the time going, but I'm not sure if you can. Hopefully you can hear me. Well, at least it's live on YouTube just in case, but my mic is acting funny. It says live, but hopefully it'll go. This is a live podcast, so, anything can happen, but I'm glad it's not going to go to waste just in case the console is acting up. I'm here with you. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching from YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Kendell Lenice across the board on social media. All right, so as we start every episode, we're going to start with this week's life note. But before that, I want to know if you are good. What's been going on with you? Y'all know I'm committed to healing myself and other people through what I do as a transformational life coach. I want to open up a center called Be Healed, B-E-E, Healed, because the B symbolizes personal power. It symbolizes brightness, community, and growth. So there's a double meaning to that. But we can all heal together. Just like on this podcast, let's shine together. Let's heal together. So more information about me, go to livingtruelivingyou.com. All right, quick intro today. We'll start with this week's life note. All right, it's time for this week's life note. All right, so this week's life note is sometimes we create our own heartbreaks through expectation. Let me say that for the people in the back. Sometimes we create our own heartbreaks through expectations. So if you're wondering what we're talking about today, we are talking about expectations. A lot of people have expectations And like the quote said, I'm just making sure this console, child. But like the quote says, you're setting yourself up. So expectation often kills joy because you're expecting this stuff in your head, whatever arena it's in. And then if it doesn't fall, if it doesn't come through and it falls by the wayside, you're disappointed, you're sad, and you had all of these expectations. Now, when it comes to maybe your career, maybe, I don't even want to say love life, but the things that you have control over and you have expectations for yourself, sometimes that could be a good thing, but oftentimes it could be a bad thing, because if you don't meet your own expectations, then you're going to feel, and I hate this word, but a failure. I don't believe in that, because if it's a lesson, it's a failure. But for lack of better words, you're going to feel like you can't achieve. You're going to feel like you disappointed yourself. You're going to feel self-loathing because you had all of these high expectations for you and you didn't meet the expectations. So let's just talk about what expectations are. Expectations are the strong belief that something will happen or be the case. More than anything else, our expectations determine our reality, and our expectations also impact those around us. In a self-fulfilling prophecy, people may rise or fall depending on their expectations and beliefs. Now, there's a lot of expectations that people have on people, whether, let's talk about dating, right? Expectations. He's going to pay, she's going to pay, expectations that they may open the door or not, expectations of this whole date, the expectation of this could be my future wife, this could be my future husband. All of these expectations, he better do this, she better do that, they better act like this, they better act like that. And then when your expectations are canceled, then you're looking like, dang, and you're disappointed when you created these expectations yourself. They say expectations are the real happiness killer. Now, people assume, let's say, for instance, let's talk about me for a second. So think about this. I just turned 50. I got married 3 years ago at 47, right? I have been married before. I raised my children already who are in their 20s. I've gone through the time where I cooked every single day, right? Soon coming home from work, cooking every single great meals, gourmet meals, not no Hot Pockets and no Hamburger Helper. I'm talking about meals. And that's no disrespect to if you only could do Hamburger Helper or Hot Pockets because your kids are eating something. So it's no diss. But I was cooking, right? So now I'm 50. I do not cook every day, but I'm married. But my husband doesn't cook, right? So sometimes he's looking at me, and if I don't cook, he's going to make something for him and maybe his son in a processed food type of way, which is totally unhealthy, right? Because I'm not cooking. Now, the days that I want to cook, I will cook, right? But I'm at a point in life where I do not want to cook every day. So if somebody gets married and they expect the person to cook every day and they maybe never had a conversation about it. And I'm not even just talking about me right now. I'm saying in general, if somebody has the expectations, I met somebody tomorrow and they had the expectation, okay, well, you going to be a wife and you cooking or you going to be this. No, don't have that expectation. Have the conversation, right? Because people are at different places in life. And when you get caught up in the expectation, the husband should do this, or wife should do that, a fiance should do that, a boyfriend should do that, and then they don't, when you didn't even have the conversation, then you're going to be disappointed. So that's in the relationship realm. So let's talk about a friendship realm. You have a friend, right? And your friend expects 3.6 calls a week, right? There are friends like that expect you to contact them 3 to 4 times a week or talk to them every single day. And if you don't, that's their expectation of a friend, right? So if you don't meet that expectation in their eyes, you may not be a good friend. Even if you're there, you may not be a good friend. And the other person might be saying that Some of my friends I talk to twice a year and we're great friends. There's no expectations. That's why communication over expectation is the best thing. Because if you're just thinking that somebody is supposed to do something and then they break your little heart and don't do it, then you're sad, then you're mad, then you're ending friendships or relationships because your expectations weren't met. No one is a mind reader in a relationship or a friendship. It could be an expectation at a job where you expect to get a raise every year. You expect to get rewarded for the things that you do for your company. You expect to be able to get a parking space because the other person got a parking space, but you've never had these conversations. And then you're let down and you're mad and you're complaining because your expectations weren't met. And that's what happens with a lot of people in a lot of different scenarios. Think about a time where you had expectations and you were let down, and then you blame the other person's people, company for not giving what you wanted or needed when you never even had the conversation. So in human psychology, humanpsychology.com, they have an article and it says expectations, the real killer, danger expectations. And then is an anonymous quote: my happiness grows in the direct proportion to my acceptance and in inverse proportions to my expectations. Now, expectations are a strong belief, as I said, that something will happen, whatever that is, right? In a self-fulfilling prophecy, people may rise or fall depending on their expectations and their beliefs. So research shows through this humanpsychology.com that we treat them better than people we think will fail. So the people that you think are going to supersede your expectations, you treat them better, it's saying. We give them more opportunities to succeed than we give those that think we will fail. So the expectation killers are: life should be fair. That's an expectation. Life should be fair. It shouldn't be the haves and the have-nots. It should be all the haves or the have-nots. Life should be fair. That's your expectation for life. We all know that life ain't fair. It's just not. Bad things happen to good people all the time for no reason, right? Expectations, you think that you may not have of hardships. Like, I went to school. I graduated from college. I'm well equipped to handle a job, but I can't get a job. My expectation is when I go to college, I am going to get a job that pays hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's your expectation. But the reality is, like, it's hard out here for a pimp. No, it's hard out here to find a job. But your expectation is, I graduate from high school, I go to college, I get a good job, I retire, and then whatever I do, right? That's your expectation, a lot of people's expectations, right? But unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way. Another expectation that people have, and I work with kids and adults alike, and this one, everybody should like me. I'm dope. I'm amazing. Everybody should like me. But what is the reality? Everybody ain't gonna like you. They just won't. And sometimes they just don't. Just like you don't like everybody, right? So if somebody's expecting you to like them and they're annoying, but everybody else loves them and you don't, that expectation is whack. Because everybody is not going to like you and you're not going to like everybody. Now, for all the people out there, and I'm looking at humanpsychology.com and some of their reasons, and then I'm giving my own. People should agree with me, it says. Now let's read what they say. Yours may not always be the right answer, and being right is not always right. We tend to take others' words, behaviors, and personalities for granted when often it is about them and not us. We expect them to think and act just like us, and if they don't, we feel hurt or angry. Now, how many times has that happened, right? Where you expect people to act like you. You expect people to respond like you. You expect people are like, well, if I'm nice, then they should be nice back to me. If I'm not rude to them, then they should not be rude to me. If I'm giving to them, they should be given to me. And that's not always the case. That's your expectations of people. I'm going to tell you right now, lower your expectations. Because if your expectations are high for people, people are always going to let you down. Because no two people are alike. So what might be important to you and your expectation, they might not value the same thing. And it's about values. And a lot of people do not understand that. They think if I do, then they're going to do. And if I'm not with it, then they're not with it. But no two people are the same. Next, people understand what I'm saying. That's the expectations. If I'm talking, then you understand what I'm saying. And that's just an assumption, just like an expectation, because it could be a happiness killer. It says people won't understand us just because we are talking. Genuinely listening to someone else with empathy creates understanding. But it doesn't mean that they are going to understand. So you get that, right? Well, people understand, you just automatically think if I'm saying it, I'm clear, I'm educated, I know what I'm saying, people are going to understand it. And that's your expectation. But they don't have to understand it because you might not be delivering it in a manner that they're able to understand. Whatever comprehension they have, just because they're grown and got ears, your expectation is that they're going to hear you and understand. And that's just an expectation, right? It doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen. I must always do well. This is for all the perfect people, all the overachievers. I must always do well. If I do not attain these goals, if I fail to live up to my expectations, I am a miserable failure, as I was talking about earlier, and deserve the worst. Like, hopefully, you all are not beating yourself up like that. Like, I deserve the worst if I don't meet my expectations. And that's the thing, y'all, about certain milestones in life. People think if I'm 25, then this is what I should have happened. If I'm 40, then this is what it should be. If I'm this, then this is what it should be. If I'm brown skinned, then my expectation is this. If I'm light skinned, if my hair is curly, like, people have these crazy expectations. If I'm married, then he should pump my gas every week. If I'm married, then she should give me sex every week, or whatever it is. These are expectations because the last one pumped the gas, the last one, had sex 2, 3, 4 times, whatever it is. These expectations you have, and that's why people bump heads a lot, because the person with the expectation and the other person who is just living life, they're like, well, wait, we didn't even have a conversation about this. Like your friends, we haven't seen each other in 6 months. I didn't know the expectation was that in order to be your friend, that we have to see each other once a week. So you got to think about that. Then when you're up in arms, when these people don't meet these imaginary expectations that you never communicated. So if you want to know about communication, I did a show 3 shows back about communications. Definitely check out the styles of communication and how we can have better communication. And then I did the next one on how to resolve conflict. All right, here's a great expectation. Things will make me happy. If only I got that new car. If only I got that new house. If only I got this. I would be happy if I get that Louis Vuitton bag. I would be happy if I got them Louis Vuitton shoes, that Rolex watch, all of these tangible things. You expect once I make money, all my problems going to go away. That's your expectation, but that's not reality, because the same problems you have now, if they're not money problems, you're going to have the same problem. And if you have money and don't know how to manage money, then you're going to have the same problem. So that expectation is out the window. Let's see what they say. We are poor at predicting what will make us happy in the future. What makes you the happiest? It asks. This question comes from Buddha is a difficult answer. Winning the lotto, getting married, buying a new car, getting a treadmill does not make you happy. It does not cause happiness as we adapt to our circumstances, which become the new normal. So if, like I said, okay, winning the lottery, if only I win the lottery, winning the lottery, your expectation is once I win the lottery, I'm going to be happy because I'm miserable right now because I don't have money. But are you really miserable because you don't have money, or is it something deeper? You get what I'm saying? Getting married is going to make me happy. Do you want to be a husband? Do you want to be a wife? That's one thing, but do you know how? You got to make sure you know what you want so you can in turn give what you want so you can receive what you want. But your expectation is just walking down the aisle is going to make you happy, which is crazy. As we see with my show, Married at First Sight. Married at first sight, these people want to be married so badly. They get married. Their expectation is, I'm never going to be alone. I'm going to always have a best friend. I'm going to always have somebody to do something with. And then they realize that the person that they married work every day, all day long, and they're still lonely. Or when I have a child, we're going to raise this child together. But then you feel like a single parent because your wife is working all the time or your husband is working all the time. But your expectation is that you're going to have this house with a white picket fence and all of that. But you've never disclosed that to the other person involved. But your expectations are there. Whoo, child. Y'all ready for this expectation? Let me roll up my sleeves for this one. I can change them. There is one person in the world you can truly change, but yourself, right? And it takes a tremendous amount of effort. The only way that people can change is through the desire to want to change. Hello, we can't or shouldn't try to fix them. Now, the expectation is if I'm a bad girl, if I'm a dope man, I'm going to change their mind. I'm going to change them. Let's just go on and move on. Because hopefully by now you know that you can't change anybody but yourself. So to thine self be true. But so many people have so many expectations. Even if you, say for instance, you own a company, right? And you want to hire someone and your expectation is that they're going to work, they're going to love my company just like they love, someone else's company. They're going to work hard. They're never going to call out. I'm going to have the stellar employee. And if only I can get another employee, my expectations are that I will not have to work 24 hours a day. But your expectation is that when you hire an employee, but you don't know that employee don't like working. And that employee is calling out. So now those hours that you thought you would be able to get other things done, your expectation was now I can rest or now I can vacation. Those were your expectations if you knew that you were hiring somebody and you didn't have to do around the clock work. Those were your expectations. But your reality is you're doing more work because now you got to clean up their work. So it's time to do away with expectations. This allows us to, when we have expectations, we experience anxiety, we experience stress, frustration, anger, we get upset, we feel disrespected, we feel the nerve because we have all of these expectations swirling around in our head. And when someone doesn't meet the expectations, we're mad. And the only person that you can expect anything from is yourself. And that's loosely. Because if you expect to pass the bar, because you went to college, you went to law school, undergrad, and you went to law school, and you expect to pass the bar, but you never studied, then that expectation is a wash. Or you expected to pass the bar and you did study and then you don't, and now you're self-loathing and down on yourself because your expectations were so high. Now, I'm not saying don't aim high, don't have expectations for yourself. I'm saying be gentle with the expectations that you have on yourself and the expectations that you give to others, because everyone's expectation is not the same. Without communication, you're not going to be able to see who's on that same vibe with you as far as your expectations. But I want you to be gentle and kind with yourself when you have all of these expectations for yourself. I planned on having a baby and being married by the time I was 30. But I'm 32 and I don't have either. So now I feel like a big fat loser. And you have people saying that. You know, I coach some people that say different things like that. But those were your expectations. But guess what? God knows exactly what he's doing. So you can expect, but it's not always going to be that way. So as long as you know that, okay, these are loose expectations, you know, my expectations might not pan out, but these are my expectations. And you have to really look at it that way, especially when you're dealing with other people that you have absolutely no control over. So expectations, again, are strong beliefs that something will happen. And then when it doesn't, you fall apart. Expectations are how we hope and anticipate life will be, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in a job, whether it's in schooling or whatever you're trying to achieve or accomplish. Your anticipation that it will happen is how you maneuver through your world. And there's nothing wrong with that. But know that if your expectations don't pan out, then that wasn't meant to be. And that's how you have to look at it. Don't stress yourself out. Don't worry. Your expectations encompass in all areas of life, as I stated, and that's work, home, and play. And you have to know that it's okay if your expectations don't come to pass. Your employers have expectations for you. They expect you to be on time. They expect you to actually work when you say you're working. Like Bernie Mac on Kings of Comedy. He's like, when black people break, they break. You know, you got it, you know, he said the other people are sitting at the desk eating their cheese sandwich, and our employer's expectation is that we're going to work, but in reality, we aren't. You know, you expect people to be honest in your life and dependable and all of those things. And if they're not, then you're upset and sad. But don't have expectations on people that you haven't had a conversation with. And that's really the gist of it. Your expectations can be high for yourself and set a bar for yourself to achieve whatever you want to achieve, right? But don't hold anyone else hostage to your expectations, because your expectations are just that. They're your expectations. And if you hold people accountable to your expectations, and when they don't, you know, achieve what you wanted to achieve and the outcome is not what you wanted, then you're going to be hot under the collar and mad and upset. So expectations are nice to have, but don't depend on expectations. Just do your best if it's you, and do what you're supposed to do. Set goals, try to conquer your goals and achieve goals, and have expectations, yes. But if they don't pan out, know that you're still worthy and worth it. And know that you can go ahead and conquer something else. You can set another expectation. You can set another dream or a goal. But focus and do your best, and that's all you can do. As far as other people, having expectations for other people, do not do it, because you're setting yourself up for hurt. have a conversation with someone, see if you're on the same page, whether it's work, career, or friendship, and then move accordingly. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me on Shine with Kendell Lenice. I am your host, Kendell Lenice. Remember, you are a star, so don't allow anyone to dim your shine. Until next time, God bless. Peace. Thanks for listening. This has been a Kenny Lynn production.
Shine with Kendell Lenice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.